Alex, let's start with what we can measure. When people spend less time on Facebook, their effective polarization drops. That's not a model or a hot take, it's a randomized experiment. Add in what we know about online diffusion, outrage and outgroup animus get rewarded with reach. If you design a system to maximize engagement, you shouldn't be surprised when the currency becomes anger. Jordan, I'm not denying the mechanisms, but macro facts force some humility. The sharpest rise in polarization happened among older Americans who are least online. That suggests a broader ecosystem, cable news, elites, geography, institutions, is doing a lot of the work. Blaming social media for all of it is like blaming the thermometer for a fever. Alex, fair, but local mechanisms still matter. Platforms are where millions get cues, form impressions, and coordinate identity. Even if TV and politicians like the match, the platforms can be gasoline, or a firebreak. The moral emotional bias and the viral advantage for outgroup slams are real. Turn those dials down and you take the edge off the daily outrage cycle. Jordan, if the dials exist, I'm all for using them. The caution is causality and magnitude. Studies show people do encounter cross-cutting content online. Ideological segregation on the internet is lower than many offline spaces. Echo chambers are not universal. If we smash the feeds with heavy-handed fixes, we risk unintended consequences, less news exposure, lower political knowledge, or migration to darker corners. Alex, that's why the fixes should be surgical. Add friction to reshares, do amplify content with outgroup slurs, label manipulative formats, and elevate source diversity. None of that bans speech, it just stops the system from preferentially turbocharging what most reliably makes us mad. Give users default tools, a diversify feed switch, quality filters, and daily caps. Jordan, and build them at the OS or browser layer so they're not app by app whack-a-mole. I'd add transparency, open up ranking inputs to independent auditors and researchers. If a tweak reduces cross-partisan reach or suppresses marginalized voices, we should know quickly and correct. Sunlight is better than paternalism. Alex, there's also the human factor, reward structures for creators. Today's feedback loops teach more outrage equals more reach. Adjust the incentives, boost civility, disagreement without contempt, and high-effort explanations. If long-form, well-sourced posts consistently get a distribution bonus, creator behavior will shift. Jordan, incentives will help at the margin, but I still think the big gains come from outside the apps. Strengthen local institutions, reduce winner-take-all electoral incentives, and invest in civic spaces. If political entrepreneurs get fewer clicks for incendiary content because voters reward pragmatism, the feeds will mirror that too. Alex, chicken and egg. The feeds shape what gets rewarded politically, and politics shapes what gets rewarded in the feeds. So yes, do both. I'm pushing for platform responsibility because it's a lever we can pull this quarter, while electoral reform takes years. Jordan, agreed on timelines. But one more caution, interventions have trade-offs. For instance, demoting reshared content can cut virality of disinformation and of grassroots mobilization for good causes. Any change should be A/B tested with publicly reported metrics, cross-cutting exposure, misinformation prevalence, harassment rates, news literacy, and downstream political knowledge. Alex, write and share the dashboards with outside researchers. Institutionalize adversarial audits so platforms don't mark their own homework. Also, make the healthy choice the easy choice, bedtime modes that pause feeds, default limits on political content during late nights, and calm start recommender settings in the morning. Jordan, I like the calm start idea. Nudges that reduce hot cognition moments could cool daily spikes in anger without affecting access to information. Pair that with user education, teach people what moral emotional bait looks like and how algorithms learn from their clicks. Alex, ultimately, the question in our topic title, drives anger and polarization, has an answer that's probabilistic. Social media nudges the system toward more anger and division, especially when optimized for engagement above all else. But it's one driver among several. The practical implication is not blame, but design. Jordan, and measurement. Commit to outcome targets, less harassment and doxing, more cross-cutting exposure without tanking user autonomy, stable or improved news knowledge. If we can't move those numbers, we should rethink the levers. Alex, last piece, leadership. Product teams need explicit objectives beyond engagement, like reduce outgroup animus amplification by X% without reducing exposure to cross-cutting facts. What gets measured gets built. Jordan, and regulators need to ask for exactly that, auditable safety cases for ranking systems, incident reporting for virality failures, and researcher access that respects privacy. No one wants the state designing feeds, but we do want accountability for systems with population scale effects. Alex, so we land here, social media isn't the cause of anger and polarization, but it is a controllable amplifier. Turn down the gain with smart design and transparency, while we work on the bigger civic machinery. Jordan, and keep iterating with humility. If a change helps in one country and backfires in another, adapt. Polarization is a system problem, solutions will be plural and local. Alex, on that, we're completely aligned. Less heat, more light, and feeds that reward it.